Harmonie and Liefie are wild and free and very much alive. It is a time of danger, and the voices that should be outraged shudder in silence. But if they are silent by choice, or by threat, or by ignorance, is known only to God after the world quivers under the yoke of its own governments, who seized the perfect opportunity to gain control. The United Nations now holds dominion over the entire world. The young couple Harmonie and Liefie, who met at an airport at the age of 17, now conspire to fly to Costa Rica, one of the few nations that has not completely shut its borders, to get married. They seek to find a home together, far away from the world they had known in their youth. Oh. Harmonie and Liefie are wild and free and very much alive. It is a time of danger, and the voices that should be outraged shudder in silence. But if they are silent by choice, or by threat, or by ignorance, is known only to God after the world quivers under the yoke of its own governments, who seized the perfect opportunity to gain control. The United Nations now holds dominion over the entire world. The young couple Harmonie and Liefie, who met at an airport at the age of 17, now conspire to fly to Costa Rica, one of the few nations that has not completely shut its borders, to get married. They seek to find a home together, far away from the world they had known in their youth. Oh, they seek to find a home together, far away from the world they had known in their youth. Oh, a world they had known, a world they had known. Go, you know I'm going to. If you give to me, I give to you. My love will dance until 10 a.m. until our feet start to hurt. Enrique Iglesias. I took my power in my hand and went against the world. Emily Dickinson. But if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever.
If you go, you know I'm going to. If you give to me, I give to you. My love will dance until 10 a.m. until our feet start to hurt. Enrique Iglesias.
I took my power in my hand and went against the world. Emily Dickinson. But if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever.
My dreams swallowed me whole, waiting in the news, anticipating anger and bitter news. My thigh is perched outside the window without fear, knowing that his spirit is enraged and impassioned, waiting for us to learn what will happen to our futures. The tears within my heart already begin to swell and to burst, not knowing what disaster might befall us. One pain follows another, each day follows the night. To guide his armies in war, angels unleashed in their wrath and defense of those who exist under their union and their light. Waiting for us to learn what will happen to our futures. The tears within my heart already begin to swell and to burst, not knowing what disaster might befall us. One pain follows another, each day follows the night, and the world edges closer to the place where it will never find rest in its prison. I have dreams of my own about dancing and dreaming. Here in this place, Rafa is ready to guide his armies in war, angels unleashed in their wrath and defense of those who exist under their union and their light. I am a guarded soul, a being elevated, as if to the heights of the stars, reaching out as a pilgrim soul. The book of my life is open for all to read and understand. What is the point of hiding anything? My voice is unlimited, unchained like the melody. I have a heart wounded by the arrows of my bitter enemies. The time's exhausted, but here my husband and I wait in the USC's office, waiting for news, a decision, anything, for even the time on the clock to expire and guide me somewhere. If in that very world I can breathe. We had spent that summer traveling together. We found each other, but we never found a permanent home. We only found each other in separate nations. The seas calling us to be together forever. But the one who had dominion over this world, always deigning to keep us so far apart, unable to lift our hearts to touch each other. But the world we knew would always reject us. My voice is unlimited, unchained like the melody. have a heart wounded by the arrows of my bitter enemies. The time's exhausted, but here my husband, and I wait in the USC's office, waiting for news, a decision, anything, for even the time on the clock to expire and guide me somewhere. If in that very world I can breathe. We had spent that summer traveling together. We found each other, but we never found a permanent home. We only found each other in separate nations. The sea's calling us to be together forever, but the one who had dominion over this world always deigned to keep us so far apart. Always deigned to keep us so far apart. Unable to lift our hearts to touch each other, but the world we knew would always reject us. We were called into the office and knew the wait was finally over. News about our future, where we were going to be. If we could be together in the same nation, would all be decided now. I held my hopes close to me, like the life growing inside my womb. All the future held together by a thread so fragile. I had never wanted to leave South Africa until the day I learned I was pregnant. Now all I can think about is the tangled crowds weaving through their destruction. The one who broke into my home and tried to rape me. South Africa is not a nation. In that hollow place there is no order at all. All the world belongs to Christ, and his scepter rules it with ultimate power, hammering down with an iron fist until mercy finally breaks through, breaking down the walls forever, which have always kept us so far apart. The immigration officer walked into the office with a grim look on his face. I'm sorry, I'm denying Harmonie's green card, he said as the tears began to swell in my eyes. He said that my extremist views against the President of the United States and his decree to slay all the birds, and my opposition to this decree made the President intervene directly, and that they've been ordered not to approve my request for permanent residency, and I had 60 days to leave the country. Walking into the sunlight which no longer warmed my face. When panic sets in, the world spins faster and out of control, and into a place of never finding rest again. I have a heart inside that grows in vengeance with sweet hymns, sung for the dead all across the world itself. And then I finally realized, when the dawn rose above the world, that the truth in our very veins was growing each day. No matter how tightly we were squeezed, our castles of stone surrounded us, protecting us from the coming of all the shadows, knowing that my breath surrounds all the oceans, and the Lord of this world would only try to tighten his grip on even my song. But then suddenly Matthias appeared, and I was thrilled with excitement, despite the darkness in this very world. And he told me of the calm and gentle songs that were sung far away in the winds of Costa Rica, a place I would never visit until I die. I know that before I die, my Liefie and I will pack up our things and go to meet in Costa Rica. But really, the second we leave our homes, we are actually dead. We had passed away, slain by worlds that never understood us. The dominion over even our authority to breathe was stolen from us. The dominion over all our homes was expropriated without compensation. Our currency was destroyed without asking us. We were blamed for the crimes of our ancestors. And then the boiling world blew over with anger toward us, not understanding our hardware or even our program path or software. The nightmares of the past haunted us forever in dreams that swallowed us with empathy, shielding us from the nightmares. But now in this very moment, after my green card was denied, I knew that nothing would shield me from the nightmare, the darkness of a world enshrined in pain. The love of a mother for her unborn child is unmatched, and the failure to provide for her young family and to protect her son like a shield from the wicked men in masks is overwhelming in its fear. In trepidation for even moving forward will prevent me from accomplishing anything at all, including the glorious breath I always labored so hard to earn in this world. After so many years, I finally earned my right to breathe, but now it was forced away from me by criminals in masks. By vicious demons who haunt our world and claw through the sides and scenes of our castles like horror villains. Unstoppable, nothing will contain them. The villains of our story will never stop until we are dead. Hold me in your arms like the anthem of the future, because at least this moment is for us. My veins are bursting with passion even now. Because at least this moment is for us. My veins are bursting with passion even now. The streets of Durban overflowing with the waves of the ocean, which not one single soul ever notices. I allow myself to be swallowed by those very waves, which entice all the worlds, the dead end life of this world. We surrender our hopes and resign ourselves with faith that one day there will be a way out. Unemployment rate near 50%. The lives we lived had banished the stars which we should all be gazing at. The world is rife with opportunities to change, and we are always deemed so lucky if we even have a job or otherwise stay here without a home, or otherwise amass great amounts of debt which we will never be able to pay back. My anthem sings throughout the world. It always has the winds of my aching heart. Like a song, like a stone that rolls through a stream at the complete mercy of the oceans, which all the worlds connect to. In their darkness, there is a calling of shadows, temptation to fall into these shadows, but we would never escape. Yet here I am, these waves overwhelming me, soaked in their embrace. Despair that overcomes a soul when it can no longer move on its own accord. I once had hope for a future which I held and cherished. I held it as a many-colored light which in my hands, the stone of light, had the power to light up all the world, glowing and illuminating every dark room where I stood. But this light of the stars was seized, and now I will never find it again.
This very light is now lost forever, was stolen by the villain who broke into my home one night and threatened to kill me. The hope of the future was always so fragile, a life filled with fear and trauma that overflows this world, where because we are all in the same precarious position, there is no one here who will listen. The desperate but vicious winds of this world against my patient but eternal watchfulness. All I will ever do now is wait for the world to flee from my vision, so that I could no longer see this world. Dressed in my pain, wearing those very stars on my skin, memories of dear family members who had all died or fled the nation. And here I am walking these streets alone, forcibly abandoned by every soul I had ever held dear, including my Liefie, who I hadn't heard from since my phone was stolen. If these oceans collapse under my heart, there will be no way to stop sinking. There is no limit too deep to sink. The crowds through the streets, clattering voices melding together as one, blending indistinguishable from all others. The liturgy of the birds and stars flowing on forward with peace in their understanding of the very breath of heaven. The memories of times long past have inebriated my scars, wash them in euphoria, so that I understand that even covered in scars, there is a place to find healing. Melding together as one, blending indistinguishable from all others. The liturgy of the birds and stars flowing on forward with peace in their understanding of the very breath of heaven. The memories of times long past have inebriated my scars, washed them in euphoria, so that I understand that even covered in scars, there is a place to find healing.
day, the scars will remind us that healing is possible. But political forces are forever marching through these avenues. And I remember the days of my youth, constant reminders of my education. The future calling me, buried in books, reading about the past while dreaming about the future. Realizing how hopeless it all was, and how powerless I am always to save this nation, to resist pain, the weariness within this world from resisting sleep. Always tempted to never wake up again, nights spent alone, gazing up toward 10,000 stars, hearts always pressed forward toward the future. The sinister forces at work in the world will surround our island of light. Capsize all ships that try to reach our island, so that no a single soul seeking refuge here will ever hope to survive. My bitter bones erupt with passion and ingest all the fear of what is outside their control. The mighty waves that surround our paradise, caving in every moment until we can no longer hope. We are surrounded on all sides by the ministers of violence. Tempted to never wake up again, nights spent alone, gazing up toward 10,000 stars, hearts always pressed forward toward the future. The sinister forces at work in the world will surround our island of light. Dreams pass me by like strangers in the night. The life of eternal mornings grow in silence. The wise man warned us about the unprecedented winds of the deplorable ache in all bones that united call us and follow us in their panic. The wild winds approaches from all sides, greets me in moments when I fear the very uncertainty of the time and its vicious cycle of control. The doors locked and walls closed around us, frequent and painful knowledge that we will never be able to move from one place to another. Our own agency within this world stripped from us, bridled and unmoved, the shipwreck that finds us on an island we will never escape, where all I can do is shout to the wind, which will carry me far away into the shadows of panic. Greater is my pain in my heart than my own agency or power in pain. When forever comes for me, I stand in this same place, the same place I have always stood, never shaking my original purpose since my first moment in this earth. Darkness enveloped in syllables of the night, the ground which was once stable will begin to collapse underneath my feet. Feel for me now in your deepest heart. Goals and hearts collapsing as well, forsaking their original purpose, forever glowing in the night toward a future no longer held in the arms of calmness or light. The streets echo with the same song they have always had. These worlds collapse as we fall, and we fall into these other worlds. The side of my heart wounded, panic setting in and taking over, resigning to this panic, falling face first into this nightmare, where all we can do is surrender to its whisper, glow in its night, arms outstretched, stretch, reaching for the sky. A surrender and a call, and reaching motion for what might never consume us, for the dreadful panic in veins to implode eventually. The sun rising over this world, and each verse of my song understood, each life unbent, each soul will be rent into pieces, into many different hearts that are spread throughout this world. Growing with me in purpose and holding its song close, like an anthem of the quiet birds that fly through all these skies. Maybe someday they will reach yours. Struck by a tragedy, one step at a time, flowing forward in truth and memory, in life and in pain, in desperate anthems of life. My ticket to nowhere burns, and I never take the train. The city of my heart flowing forward in its memory of pain and panic on my skin, the risks taken, lives overturned, the hearts outstretched and torn. Miracles are found at every turn in this world where we hold forever on our skin, burning the light of the chasm of eternity, where we can never cross one side to the other. Memories of my parents burned, and I miss every light in this world, burning in the already stricken. Love from my heart, and there are many miles left on our journey. The soles of my feet are worn as we progress through this journey. The harsh display of despair will meet with us eventually. All I can do is put it off and hope it never reaches me. Dream with me on the floor of your asphalt, tread with me forever in the anthem of what was only believed in dreams. The grace of the treading heart on the floor of oceans, holding all it needs, never letting go, no matter how desperately hot its crevices become, in the eternal motion of falling, growing in the moment of that unclopation, for whatever might become of our precious world. The TV wild at night, showing us things we never believed or understood, dwelling forever in the motion of eternal love, heavens of peace and glory following us wherever we can think and understand that we are truly the ones who always believed in what we felt in dreams. My warrior soul drew all its strength from a poem, the heat of its hurricane, imploding on all who cannot stand. My floating heart will someday find a place of rest, somewhere in this world, or perhaps elsewhere in some other world. The fragrance of this world has become bitter to me, where movement is impossible, where the freedom to express my soul grows dimmer each moment, where in all moments I hold myself and all eternity inside a single syllable of this poem. You speak to me in Spanish, you tell me secrets of the world and of all worlds. Together we will dance all night until the world has one more heart, one more soul to hold, one more life inside, one more night to survive the grave danger we face in a world where the angels fade and the lights all fall from the sky, guiding us no more as they did before. But I follow you through this night, and you know I always will. The fragrance of this world has become bitter to me, where movement is impossible, where the freedom to express my soul grows dimmer each moment, where in all moments I hold myself and all eternity inside a single syllable of this poem. You speak to me in Spanish, you tell me secrets of the world and of all worlds. Together we will dance all night until the world has one more heart, one more soul to hold, one more life inside, one more night to survive the grave danger we face in a world where the angels fade and the lights all fall from the sky, guiding us no more as they did before. But I follow you through this night, and you know I always will. My love, your truth surrounds all the world in its venom, in its credulity, in its precious and unbelievable impassioned speech. This world belongs to us now and always has a home to have, a home to hold, a grace to pursue an uncreated light, to mold, to grasp, and to enshrine in on our lamps, to pasture in this night which we persevere through forever after. And always in the light of the morning we follow the lamps in the river, guiding us to the ocean it connects to. The secret and narrow path which we follow takes us to what we hope for, but what we've only seen face to face in dreams. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. I swear the rest we've only seen in whispers, and we could not process these thoughts in our minds. They were too much for us, too much to believe, too much to hold, too much to find in this world where the rest of everything is only cold. We treasure what we found, we never let it go. The path winds on through the mountains, through all kind of treacherous land, but it takes us where we know we always wanted to go. Breathe with me above a concrete world where nothing is solid enough, and it all slowly fades. Oh, bravest days of our lives, when we confronted our mistakes without delay, when memory burns love into our minds and life thrives in inspiring motions of a passionate muse, waiting here for the end of all time. Of course, this life burns forever in my heart with uncertainty. Love calls me forever, my life fading in, and empty void of chaotic dreams be my vision when my eyes cannot clearly see the spaces in the sky that are empty, where all the birds used to fly. Forever, the victory forever in my heart. The streets are filled with empty souls, buying and selling, treading the floors of these streets with passion in every step. Always so much that can be taken from me. My pursuit of love, my pursuit of nothing but vibrant but beautiful noises within this world. But every step and every decibel rings out with beauty, never finding any confidence of my ability to stand my own ground, until my feet are held to these very fires that burn down my world. The graven images of our past mistakes haunt us now and forever. The life of the world to come gives us the hope that springs forward always into the wings of tomorrow. The last and desperate greeting wind of each powerful utterance, of a single word, of a single poem, of all words and all poems, of power meant to be held and stirred within us, growing forever in its spin and swell. One day the words will come to me, and I will be able to fly through the world, not with sight and feeling, but with words bold and always bursting out, unrestrained, untrained, and wild, courageous in the night. As the stars that never fall down to earth, as the campaign against the birds thickens, the President of the United States was powerless to slay them all. Their wings, their wind, their very vision was overwhelming, usurping the whole world and installing new governments of the hearts, blowing over those who thought they would never be toppled with the simplest gush and torrent of the defiant flight. Each moment for me passes slowly and vividly, unstoppable, careless and vividly detailed as well in its memory. Give to me what you have never believed in, your hopes that you have forgotten, for I am the tired masses, not only of my community, but of this nation and every nation and of the whole world. One human nature that all of us share, being pressed forward in the light of peace, while living under light and vicious fireworks of almighty bombs. Here we are treading slowly and bravely in the same night, cadence of love, peace, and our now shared destiny. If the world is to burn in uncontrollable fires, then assuredly I will follow you. If my blessed hope lost with the peace of myself I lost when my soul died, hope is the reason and the anchor of
all wayward souls, the reset for all of the panic and chaos in this world, where destiny drives me forward in the anchor of all created things, holding on this love, almighty and vividly divine.
The light of bombs cannot help but be quenched inside the soaked, absorbing blanket of hope which completely surrounded it. Saving those in the shadows, the human life of ours presses forward through with eternal love. We all are guests, trampled over by a world that was never truly our home, and we craved escape from this shell, this hollow hell we call day-to-day life. The loneliness which we crawl into against the gentle flutter of the breeze, in which can hear day by day the always present call of the light. The justice of finding a light where we never knew we would find it. Lighting up the room, leading a path to a place where we can take our rightful place at the side of those who came before, in the light of all my peaceful contour. Today I dream of a better place away, always, never understandings, the power of governments when they thrust me away from my home, when love is no longer acknowledged, when the halls of life are no longer braved, but we stay in these rooms, echoing words of hate from a book we are forced to read, about a life we will be forced to live, and we will always be crushed completely by our missed opportunities within this world. The memory of worlds long ago, where we stood here captivated by the love of souls alone, of greater life calling us, where at the very least we can sit here and contemplate what might happen in the future. The undisputed triumph of words unleashed throughout the world. Finding a gentle place on your shelf, hearts guided to a place of solace. Life, if this side of the world, if this empty parking lot, if this very asphalt feels tangible, as if I could hold this existence in my hands and squeeze out its juices. An existence that tangible is all I ever demanded out of my life. My crawling and cyclical heart, the dawning of my soul, treading but through the spaces where my soul used to be, before it too fled away with those birds that the president sought to slay, viciously and cruelly, in his chamber of tortures, his house of delusions, crater of the lonely heart. Power grasped once will not easily be let go again. The dense layers of my heart, and of all hearts that stand here, hoping at the very least to find a way away from these shores. But are there any ships coming? Was my heart always destined to do nothing but sit and wait? Destiny approaching suddenly, with all my brothers and sisters, we do nothing but wait in the quest. Sounds of all wood settling my mind, cleansing it, greeting it with the gentle words it always wanted to hear. The lifetime of my life growing deeper into the menacing and depth of lungs filled with love and ready to exhale and flood all worlds.
song in my heart of passion, waiting here still for the taste of forever, for the paradise of all passing time, when invoked to betray the world, capsizing all ships in the sea that we observe from far away. Believe in what is never reachable, reaching for what is never understood. Follow me into the void, to the place where the birds have flown to. Generous and flowing with danger, retribution of passion, finding its fulfillment always in all motions. Coming here where it meets its ultimate fulfillment. Burst through with me to the other side, through these walls that surround us, preventing us from meeting the other. Growing forever in the anthem of love, followed by ancient poems, words that follow us all wherever we go, unable to escape. The life in my heart treads on forward through all dark trenches. Follow me into the embers of that fire which transforms all worlds. All I ever wanted was to be with you, and in this quiet place find my heart unstrung, free, and finally at very last untethered. All I wanted was the power to sit here and write, to become all joys to all people, to have the power to express my brave mind with those who cannot stand their own ground. When strength is plowing on forever, the anthem of our lives, where in this desperate place the birds hold their counsel and discuss what happened to the world. Through chirps and flapping of wings, the wind from these very wings, like the wrath of the world, overflowing and certain, present in the arms all who are held.
Overflowing and certain, present in the arms all who are held.
Of my mind, rushing through the world with the thoughts of these same birds united to mine. The gracious winds of time, forever a howl in the air, an eternal sound resonating through all in the spring of eternity. The governments pressing their iron fist to the walls of the world could no longer reach these birds or stars. They had all run away to San Jose. My precious heart running through this desolate world in its voracious twist of the same fate. If you hold me, know that I am yours forevermore, and that in the ringing of years of these same winds, our goals never achieved, our hands are never outplayed. At the last moment, the tides of the ocean, the underdog now is the victor. The gracious sighs in my life were always flowing forward toward desire of growing passion of the fabled nations, always glowing forward in their light and in their desire to become more and to forget the mistakes of the transparent past. I see through all of these things, growing forever in poverty, with the world forgetting souls as the world burns. The world burns when a soul burns. Grow with me through all of this.
precious heart we hold flows through all worlds in its truth. My memory struck by a sudden lightning, forcing me to stay stagnant in this world, never move or improve. My vision struck by a sudden blindness, but only then can I really see. Now blind to my own desires, I can be here for you, clawing forward in the nation, on toward whatever flows through me, flowing through you as well. If the patience in my heart can outlast time, where will it be then? If all time moves on forward, who will be the anthem of my joy? The reality of tensions and hearts resounding, growing with me forever, into the hope that we always hope to hold. My always is who you are, my greatest love falling into you. In the tempest, always glowing, always perfected by the storms, the waves of the roaring seas. Words flow through me like water, like the rescue of all hearts. The very day that I no longer feel is the day I no longer live. When the world ceases to feel, there will no longer be a hope in this world left to give. The bright morning of all these worlds coming together in one moment. The tension of my precious will in my mind, always an anthem, never ceasing to be. A song to live is to grasp the sunlight, clenching it tightly with both hands, squeezing, never letting it go, or having any desire at all to do so. My warrior heart in its present, ocean one with all things. Here we stand in the world breakers of hearts. My life is a long and frightful journey, a path tread through the stars, through the light of the dim starlight. We find our path somehow here, beautiful and dreadful as the morning light. The lights that guide us have their own souls, their own wills, their own twists and turns, as they guide us on our desperate and pilgrim path through this place which we stand. The time has changed so much, and we find ourselves one with the breeze and passing time, in the sense that we cannot hold on even in our hands a single moment, or convince it to stay. The joy of walking through the library, I was never the master of my own breath. My chaotic trembling voice through this world would tread through the endless fields where the oceans once again have given up the tempest and yielded to a calmer nature. The world was always calling me to crawl through its crevice. The light of my mind flowed forward in all times and places, destined to sing for some greater song which I would only know. In some dream which had passed long ago, out of all memory, only recalled by God, who in his truth and compassion had well hidden things from us that might disturb our hearts. The distant view of the mountains peeking forth somewhere. I stand here as a pure soul, heaven greets me in its light, life follows me in its morning, of generous gifts offered to us like grace, pouring out like a stream of water, cutting through all of the nightmares. The winds still call to me, because somewhere I know the gust of wind was caused by the birds flapping their wings so many miles away, now reaching us, because no one can truly escape these winds. Torrential storms, rains falling all around us, and we desire to become whole out of the broken pieces that we once were. My drenched mind in these same waters reaches through and feels everything, united in precious love with those who understand us. because they took the time to listen, to truly hear the story of lives broken, of kingdoms overthrown, of love torn, of powers never known, the walls surrounding us, holding us in place. The life of the world is so brilliant that we will never escape. The life of its glow, the reign of its soul. The greater the gift, the more we become whole. After so many years of torment and pain, the whispers we hear will lead us again to a path that we'll find somewhere in the dark, leading us home and me to your heart.
Destination, called by a heart drawing us together. In this story, my fettered mind, my redemption found in the powerful desire that sees me by the heart, grasps me without hesitation. And my only want is to be called by the name, by the voice in the rain, the last fallen memory, its anthem unhinged. Kings of the world in their disarray, sided with the darkness, power always oversprung. The morning sunrise breaking the veil of monotony, flaying forward into the future of my love, for a world that has so quickly slipped away, taking up arms to defend what we've loved, casting out all the past dreams that we've forgotten and outgrown, bending down and laying down crowns and thrones. The kings of the world in their disarray, sided with the darkness, power always oversprung. Morning sunrise breaking the veil of monotony, flaying forward into the future of my love, for a world that has so quickly slipped away, taking up arms to defend what we've loved. Disarray, sided with the darkness, power always oversprung. The morning sunrise breaking the veil of monotony, flaying forward into the future of my love, for a world that has so quickly slipped away, taking up arms to defend what loved, casting out all the past dreams that we've forgotten and outgrown, bending down and laying down crowns and thrones. Frozen earth we tread, hoping one night to carve a path out of this bitter cold air which clings to us. Meanwhile we are frozen here where we no longer have true agency to move the scars passing slowly, reaching out for a promise but not a guarantee. A life here is stagnant, take me away from the world that clenches me, holds me tightly, buries me eternally. My reach is extended but hindered, my life is broken across the oceans, leading you aimlessly where you will never find me except in whispers.
The absolution within my glowing heart, and struck by inspiration, finds you in your own quiet room, glowing now like myself, hearts alive in their rhythm of a song. A chance to find where we belong in a brave world. Unquestionable beauty finds us every step of the way. The crater where the bombs hit my heart, an empty abyss of passion, and no one could ever reach the bottom. Desperate veins in me swelling up forever, lingering here for a few moments, hoping to find you. War waged, and my only hope is to somehow reach down and find with intention, but find unexpected passion, which will flow throughout this world. Glow on with an energy unmatched and unheard by the world, although all of our ears are itching to hear.
Patient love in my hands, outlasting tempest, bursting the waves. When the calmness of my dreams seeks you and memorizes all the places where your skin was torn, where the wounds grow deep. Swell in my soul only wants you to fill all the empty spaces left by these cuts. The dream of my youth, of purpose, find their home in your arms, where there a world to be built. A castle, a home, a guard, a place of rest. My life I would give for yours. I'd trade all the worlds for a glimpse of your heart. Where the wounds grow deep, love lies underneath. Where the swell in my soul only wants you to fill all the empty spaces left by these cuts. The dream of my youth, of purpose, find their home in your arms, with their world to be built. A castle, a home, a guard, a place of rest. My life I would give for yours. I'd trade all the worlds for a glimpse of your heart. Yeah, heart. A castle, a home, a guard, a place of rest. My life I would give for yours. I'd trade all the worlds for a glimpse of your heart. For a glimpse of your heart. For a glimpse of your heart.
The crowds through these streets, the paths that lead all of us across all worlds. The simple reaching of arms, the letters all across a world. Some of them I have sent myself, reaching the eyes of those in need of a comforting word. A trial, a tribulation, we've all walked this path, my tortured soul. Bereft of connection with those I long to hear. My courageous pen, my almighty heart, my gracious enclosure, my one last treasure, my tools that I use to climb out of this place. A life that I hold, the world stays the same, each moment trapped in time, each star forever aligned. Champion between us, guardians of our souls, against the iron and clenching grip of routine, of government striving to seize us. My heaven connected to yours, oh so far away. Dreams flow forever into the future that calls to us. The life of the world falls so far away. We walk with our eyes closed and repeat every day. The music began to dim in the city, and the clouds grew darker. The bird all congregating in the sky, watching our every deliberation. The cycles of nature never releasing us, stinging cold of the night sky, greets us and beckons us into its nebula, and deep into its abyss. The life of the world flows into darkness, the path away from here. Alive at long last, in a place where hope finds a life.
rest and look up toward the sky, looking for the birds and a cure for the fear of mortality, a constant vexing force, the power of justice, judged himself. We shall see then where we stand when the broken roads were marked by our weary feet. Carve a new path long after the visible road was destroyed. Carve a new path long after the visible road was destroyed. Carve a new path long after the visible road was destroyed. Carve a new path long after the visible road was destroyed. There is a chilled wind, even now reaches across all the oceans, where dreams rest and look up toward the sky, looking for the birds and a cure for the fear of mortality. Weary hearts are welcome to rest here and make their abode as long as they like. In my inn, located in the center of all oceans, that these shipwrecked hearts travel, hoping to find the voice or even the solemn touch of another. Touch is more than I can stand, overwhelming in its current, bent toward euphoria and peace. This solemn sea that led us to this little alcove here, where we can for a moment rest. Weary hearts are welcome to rest here and make their abode as long as they like. In my inn, located in the center of all oceans, that these shipwrecked hearts travel, hoping to find the voice or even the solemn touch of another. Touch is more than I can stand, overwhelming in its current, bent toward euphoria and peace. This solemn sea that led us to this little alcove here, where we can for a moment rest. The pages were once empty, but now are overflowing like a train, still eternally moving, but without mistake derailed. The lights that guided it are far away, and now these pages are filled with bitter images of the wrath that floods my heart. Life was derailed with no warning at all. Hope crawls out of memory and is lost and never finds its way home. Free my heart so that eventually I can find my place at home, and my voice in the song. Oh, and my voice in the song. The pages were once empty, but now are overflowing like a train, still eternally moving, but without mistake derailed. The lights that guided it are far away, and now these pages are filled with bitter images of the wrath that floods my heart. Life was derailed with no warning. eventually I can find my place at home and my voice in a song. Oh, and my voice in a song. Oh, hope crawls out of men at all. Hope crawls out of memory and is lost and never finds its way home. Free my heart so that eventually I can find my place at home and my voice in a song.
There are shores where ships arrive. The moonlight guided them here, all converging here, conversing in their grace. Bitter winds have capsized souls who were not as lucky. My grace falls into your folds of unstoppable love. The bitter struggle in this world made my heart grow completely numb. The solace found here lasts the light against old darkness. The all-consuming depth of passion consume my body and soul, burn to a crisp from its engine and sway of reaching. The pertinacious power of my soul, together surrender, always holding onto the demand of burning, seething love forever. Ships arrive, the moonlight guided them here, all converging here, conversing in their grace. Bitter winds have capsized souls who were not as lucky. My grace falls into your folds of unstoppable love. The pertinacious power of my soul, together surrender, always holding onto the demand of burning, seething love forever. Never seems to end. The life of patience flows with me in every gentle stride, holding your heart to mine. I find strength and power, virtue clinging forward. For what we have that is left, come dream with me of the oceans, of the phantoms that have forsaken this once proud world that now lays at the mercy and in ruins of those who hope to keep to some pages but not their own, of mortality for what it's worth pulls me
know, breathe for as long as you can sing. Greet me in the light of the darkness. It's welcoming in bitter glade, where paths that lead us far from here. All alight with my sovereign guidance. Follow me headlong into the future, for what it's worth. Away from violence, from the lights that I follow. The joy in my hands, hands touching hands. Hand always meant to hold all the things a person's hands say about them. Thousand stories never told, of lives crawling through the cold, of songs never sung, of voices never perishing. Wars are never over, just paths to more despair. We can only look inward, instead of from the outside looking in. From the outside all looks different, the whole world looks clear. Greet me in the moonlight, and tell me what you've seen. All the souls you see here are desperate to be free. The final lamp in this dark, I will find it in your heart. Those welcoming arms I've been seeking, your open, compassionate heart. I know that somewhere there's always room for me inside. This will always be our dominion, a world separate from all others. But the God of this world we fled from, a master of many slaves. To live is but to observe.
Every creature of this world is good, not any part is vile. My heaven comes to earth every time the bluebird lands and experiences the wind, like I feel against my skin. This is poetry resounding, the interconnection of abundant wells of everything we ever needed or wanted. All of it guides us here. My love in all this world, to fall after what we crave, to be so close to heaven that we are all amazed of the precious gift of light that follows us through the dark, where those who thought falsely they could constrain us never accounted for a certain mystical power that leaves the rich empty-handed, but never forsakes the poor. Greets them in the headlights of a bright and burning star that leads us now and forever, like the breath of passing cars leading me somewhere, but I cannot tell you where I'm going or who sent me. All I can say with certainty is that this is the path of peace, the life of the world, striving to hold the light in hands. It flitters so far when grasped, never follows its possessor's demands. A life of its own is swallowed in the heaven of the sway. The breeze of all of the oceans mixing together today into something we can hold so tightly that our songs come undone. I am here, daydreaming, with power in my hands, across the world, on the other verge of holding heaven so close to me. I will never forget the days we spent together, basking in the light of the sun, the welcoming life of freedom, which we strive for every. A dominion, a land of our own, where we will greet travelers passing by. One day I too will be a passerby, somewhere on the way, the light guiding me forever. My soul forever strained, until I find what I seek, until the stars fall through the sky and guide us with all the answers. Our empire was crafted by the divine. My life is but a shadow, a vapor in the wind. So come and greet the morning with me. Each moment you touch me, my soul comes alive again. With power in my hand, riding across the world, on the other verge of holding heaven so close to me. I will never forget the days we spent together, basking in the light of the sun, the welcoming life of freedom, which we strive for every. A dominion, a land of our own, where we will greet travelers passing by. One day I too will be a passerby, somewhere on the way, the light guiding me forever. The welcoming life of freedom, which we strive for every. The light guiding me forever. I dream of ships crossing over to safer shores. The deep glow of swelling light of morning that wipes away all fears, greets us in every space, grows closer inevitably in the harrowing of all lights, with me to a new world. My desire to flee with these lights, all stars growing close, and I the scribe of these stars, crafting out their tale and their poem. Fly with me in the ocean of gracious welcome, on a journey, on a flight. These stars call to me, always. The lights twinkling in their brilliance, the stunning passion of these stars that led them onto a world unlike anything we've ever seen. My passion grew while traversing with these stars, always seeking a home, a world where they can be together. Understanding of where these stars had fled off to was all I needed to know. At the end of our days, the days of our lives were always guided by the stars, but these stars will be led by us in the heart we hold. The lights grow dim and we were close to the end, but our hearts were filled with joys and blood beating in our hearts, grew perfect and peaceful life we had fled to. The machine that claws, that digs into the sides of its victims, crushing weight of violence, pressing down on victims with no power to fight back, or consuming in its visceral hatred, its bitter destruction, flowing throughout all the world, centralized control. Not only separating families, but dropping bombs on foreign homes. Greet me in the morning, in the twilight of those same bombs. We will run off to a world unseen, the light glistening against the sea. Our journey is about to begin.
begin. We will be taken to a new world, which has existed in a realm a little beyond our dreams. Dreaming was the first step, but never took us far enough. We had only ever stood in the doorway of the world where we belong. You were always of my heart. It fought back, all-consuming in its visceral hatred. It's better to find a place where it can shine on peaceably forever. The touch of the other enough to remind us of the love that fell down on us from the stars. Not only separating families, but dropping bombs on foreign homes. Greet me in the moans, greet me in the morning. In the twilight of those same bombs, we light of those same bombs. We will run off to a world unseen vault. The light glistening against the machine that claws, that digs into the sides of its victims. Crushing weight of violence, pressing down on victims with no power to fight back, all-consuming in its visceral hatred. Its bitter destruction flowing throughout all the world. Centralized control, not only separating families, but dropping bombs on foreign homes. 3 in the morning, in the twilight of those same bombs, we will run off to a world unseen. The light glistening against the sea. Our journey is about to begin. We will be taken to a new world, which has existed in a realm a little beyond our dreams. Dreaming was the first step, but never took us far enough. We had only ever stood in the doorway of the world where we belong. You were always of my heart. The embrace of sadness takes me over. The future was ours, but can so easily be swept away. In the arms of quiet woods, I wait and hope its voice will take me far away, where I will never be found. Better lost than found. The changes within the world are overwhelming. The future was ours, but can so easily be swept away. In the arms of quiet woods, I wait and hope its voice will take me far away, where I will never be found. Better lost than found. Changes within the world are overwhelming. Always remember the memories that inspired you in your youth. The decay of time will slowly batter at the memories, lessening their power, loosening their grip or hold in your mind. These memories are the anchor of your experience. Within this world, the foundation shaken, and no longer any solid ground to rely on. The heart goes on. When life is destroyed,
I would know this most of all. But when the heart goes on, it never goes on the same. Perishing hearts within this world, forcing themselves each day. The genuine love of passing things burns up and expires in the night, but guides our paths that lead to just outside its doors. These memories are the anchor of your experience. Within this world, the foundation shaken, and no longer any solid ground to rely on. The heart goes on. When life is destroyed, I would know this most of all. But when the heart goes on, it never goes on the same. Perishing hearts within this world, forcing themselves each day, each day. The genuine love of passing things burns up and expires in the night, but guides our paths that lead to just outside its doors. Waiting within the airport of forever, ever hoping to hear the call for freedom. The power that I crave, the calm oceans that surround me, echoing their histories. The truth in my surrender to these same mysteries. Captivated by the passage of time and glow of tomorrow, though faint, guiding us to foreign arrivals, where we can find a place of rest and replenish our minds, barraged by the winds of forever, calling to me. The moonlight crawls toward us slowly, graciously, in the heaven that calls to us, greets us forever. All desire leads to one place and one fulfillment, one love, one mourning, and one sacrifice falling upon us. My life was always torn between what I've been seeking and the winds, pushing me the opposite direction. The paths twist and turn, guiding us away from where we started. The journey itself has changed us and restored our minds. The bright light of the morning calls as the day comes, and our hearts are rejuvenated and once again whole. The machine marches on, those who follow it lose their eyes and eventually writhe in the madness of perpetual darkness, where there is no tangible path out of the shade. The light had flown so far away, with the stars fleeing the sky. Somewhere I don't know where, in this same darkness, there is dimly heard a melody in the vast distance, originating from the hearts of the lost. A heart beating even now courses through all the world, filling all spaces with its patience and its many certain promises. Grow with me in joy each day that world grows colder. Our hearts grow violent in their power and mighty force that overthrows the walls surrounding us, the status quo of those who will never change. Shaken to the core, my love fills all the world, unstoppably present. The night falls upon the world, and the true power in this world belongs to us. Together as the kings and queens of this world, who know for certain that the only
marches on, and the nerves of this machine can no longer feel or understand the tempest of the wind battering against hearts. But here I stand, free as the movements of the wind.
Powerless to fight against the regime of death, as we believe, as we wait in quiet rooms for all time to end and for the life in veins to expire. Though in separate rooms, I will write letters and send them to you. The birds will carry them to where you sit in shadows, somewhere from the other side of the world. I took this power in my clenched fist and fought tooth and nail against the villains who wanted to slay those same birds that guided my path. My arms can only reach so far, but tonight I imagine that they teach across the worlds. My heart healing begins when memories find me and take me to the past. The life I had once known, now gone forever, burning rivers of fire that severed worlds when my heart is spoken. Hope for the dawn which crawls towards me. All I can hope for is love somewhere, I don't know where. I dream of quiet mornings where we fall in love with the life pulsing through the world. Joy is our dream which we surrender rather than face the firing squad that the world has become. Destroy me, and my ashes will now and always triumph over the world life spent, perpetually waiting for better days and warmer hearts. Vicious creatures take the reins of our world and pull, crushing us with every crack of the lash. My heart held close and unleashed upon those who happily made us victims. My precious time, drifting through this world and never seen or heard from again. Power reaching out from my heart and unleashed as the breath of my song. The rhythm of creation, its beat like a drum, finding me in the place I reach for the sky. Not to surrender, but rather to rise, to fight for a love, even if it cost me my life.
My arms held close and unleashed upon those who happily made us victims. My precious time, drifting through this world, and never seen or heard from again. Power reaching out from my heart and unleashed as the breath of my song. The rhythm of creation, its beat like a drum, finding me in the place I reach for the sky. Not to surrender, but rather to rise, to fight for a love, even if it cost me my life.
The life I had once known, now gone forever, burning rivers of fire that severed worlds. When my heart is spoken, I hope for the dawn which crawls towards me. All I can hope for is love somewhere, I don't know where's there. I dream of quiet mornings where we fall in love with the light pulsing through the world. Joy is our dream which we surrender, which we surrender. I hope for the dawn which crawls towards me. All I can hope for is love somewhere, I don't know where. I dream a word, I dream.
The movement and flight of our lives, the tides of time have taken us here we never wanted to go. My fleeting heart bursting forth toward its certain tomorrows. Tomorrows always promise the unknown. The light of our futures burn up and can never last. The hell we found ourselves in burns itself into extinction. My light shine out forever, calling these
sojourners who might seek the light, traveling through the woods, blindly in the darkness of the bright abyss, hidden by the fog of darkness. If you can hear my champion song, listen. If but for a moment, and listen quietly, for the violence in the world to be quenched by those lost souls brandishing their newfound lights in this world my tired eyes struggle to see in this night, blinded by the burning reflections of the lost souls treading through these woods, swaying in the winds of this place where so many souls come together. Rest with me in this darkness as it calls in the gracious memory of the distant past. My beautiful light, my only need is to hear the sound of the desperate heart. The anxiety of a tortured heart fills every empty spaces in the world where joy is not found. Find me somewhere waiting in these woods until dawn comes and the brightest of lights shines through. Ooh, light it. Bright abyss.
Heaven's winds on my horizon, bashing through the clamoring future of the anticipated. Morning darkness, guide me somewhere where I can hear eternity calling. Darkness falling upon our worlds, our heaven's light so far away. Jacob's ladder has no steps to climb. Since the cold breaks into night, my night of misery follows me everywhere. Threats of violence in a desperate life, someone's beloved threatened tonight. The power lies right above my heart. Eternity approaches so slowly tonight. My mind is filled with words to overthrow the demons that pierce and rule the world. Eternity calls no matter where my heart breaks. That is where it always calls me to stand. The everlasting flow of my bright morning calls me to hold you close in the night. The valleys where we wait for tomorrow to come. Tomorrow is forever taking its time. Light of my path, away through the mirage of visions. We will walk through them all and find a place of our own. A healing place, a life away from the cold. Bursting forth and ships all adrift, fleeing to crevices in the ocean where we may never find them again. The quietness of solitude, of the winds of peace, of the power and patience to wait for the end of all time. destruction of what we kept hidden away inside our souls. Memories pass and never return. When I fall down, I never arise. All those who have arms should reach for the skies, for what they can feel, even if nothing at all. The holes in our hearts were so small, but now our hearts can hold nothing at all. Burned away, never again understood or conceived of breakers of lamps. And now fire spreads across the world of mine. I'm called by the name of the lamps that were broken, and their lights are silence. The marks of my panic, the emblems of my pain, strewn across the world where you will find in so few words the wrath that fills my heart, the desperate life of darkness that follows us in our trap where we panic and fear. We will never escape the world of darkness, of burning buildings, of a certain hope that never appears, that represents a future blown to bits, a world afraid of its own shadow, a hint of despair that flows through us like hell, burning life in the woods, craving salvation. While I gaze toward the sea, looking for a better life, we may never find our future life in veins tormented in a prison. In self few words, the wrath that fills my heart, that fills my heart, the hip that kills my heart, that fills the desperate life with darkness, profanering arts. We'll never escape the world of darkness, the perverted art that pervades all eternity, breaks with currents forever of these waves that caress me violently, unwavering panic breaths, wavering only to breathe, taking in only as few breaths as necessary. My immortal heart is open for the world to see, the sea so cold, frozen over, which I can now gaze at and imagine the ships that have lost their way in these same seas, somewhere unable to find their homes, broken souls never resting. Their sunlight has long ago disappeared, vanished in the light of the darkness, the loaded gun of my life, unloaded as rounds into the bottles in the ocean, containing the message of hope for all of forever. Those lost soldiers out at sea, whose words will never reach us. My ultimate goal is to be made whole by whoever can see or hear me. The connection is simple, but is lost forever. What is broken is not so easily fixed. The heavy hand of those holding their weapons falls down heavy upon us. The weapons now blunted work all the same. Heaven and hell are at war in this game. The marks of my panic, the emblems of my pain, strewn across the world where you will find in so few words the wrath that fills my heart, the desperate life of darkness that follows us in our trap where we panic and fear. We will never escape the world of darkness, of burning buildings, of a certain hope that never appears, that represents a future blown to bits, a world afraid of its own shadow, a hint of despair that flows through us like hell, burning life in the woods, craving salvation. While I gaze toward the sea, looking for a better life, we may never find our future life in veins tormented in a prison. In so few words, the wrath that fills my heart, the desperate heart, the wrath that fills my heart, the desperate art of darkness, we are parts. A heifer escape the world of darkness, the death that infiltrates and pervades all eternity, breaks with the current forever of these waves that caress me violently, unwavering panic breaths, ships adrift to somewhere they might belong. Unstoppable forces of governments, their hammers, their sickles, their bitter taste of their swords, into the sides of the ones who hold the true power. Nothing that can be done to take my power from me. My power exists through grace. The moonlight of my life burns and guides me in the shadows, and the world does not know its own shadow, but this shadow is immense, covers all in darkness, burns up when the arms of slavery clasp our wrists and claw into our ribs. Hold me like the memory of the ones who were lost not so long ago. Life has become an empty room, and all those I have known have left, have fled like those from my country, South Africa, an empty hell, where in this nation my heart slowly empties. I sit here and drink forever from the bottle of wasted memories, so I can always remember this shell of a room that was once a nation, of a nation that was once a home, of a life that was born to be broken, where lies grow in the bitter horizon for this room. Of the power entrenched in my heart, nothing I drank could erase this power. No matter how hard I tried, the room of South Africa was moving, always pressing forward. I could see all the places it was treading towards its judgment, towards its future. The end of all days approaching, the power in my heart burning. Its painful nature was clear. My heart was about to burst. The end of all worlds was near. The nation would face its judgment, and I alone would be left to account. A judge and a priest in liturgy, a nation of all birds and stars. Walking away and twisting off every light and taking the batteries out, storing these batteries for when I need them. Only this will scare the demons away. The bitter pill of life to swallow, the vanguard of forever will be held up in arms with weapons, firmly possessed, fueled by the batteries from the flashlights, blunted drama against the darkness. Only violence will do, violence with words. Our precious chart of the stars guides us to a home where we've always belonged, longing for the truth of the source of all the true power and light. Find me. Somewhere waiting here to unstitch the patches of truth that were hidden somewhere underneath your clothes, hidden somewhere in this room. But life, its fullness, I'm glad you're here. With you I bet life wouldn't be so bad. Hold me in the starlight, hold me so close to your candlelight. Guard me forever like there is meaning in the value of all precious things. If you can hear me tonight, the saints watch over us like birds, the angels watching us like stars. The power of silence flows through all sounds. Oh my Lord, hold us here in peace of the passionate prayer of the one far from his country, stranded, broken, battered bones, night swallowed in eternity in the cowering seas. 1,000 voices and they're forgetting
of all the fullness of souls. Forgetting of the light that used to guide us, lead me to where I can stand on my own feet, where the fury of my heart blows over in all dreams.
When you left South Africa, there were 1,000 voices. Don't come back. If Walmart was gone, you'd shrivel up and dead of starvation.
Minds have left and never returned. Crisis of the soul, deficit of love for the beautiful paradise. Surrounded by the unwelcoming voices, these two seek dominion. But the power flows forever from my veins, the love that flows through me.
I wish I could vanish with you, disappear one day, and reappear in a new universe. Stories told of millions of cities somewhere there across those stars, standing close to the bordering gate of where our future begins. The frightened life we live goes on and flows forever in its strain, its current connected to where it began. Only God knows if we will ever escape. Our future calls us in our vision, which we see in a moving room. Our faltering movements as we try to leave this room, but fall to the opposite side. Through this window we can see scenes from our sylvan past, the world as it was, totally innocent. We were children walking through the woods at night, but then there was violence. Torture thrust us down by figures in mosques, treading our once peaceful woods and threatening us with violence. We fled and left for cities where we thought we might finally be safe. The wars began which we never started. The life was descending into the coldness of dark caverns which we could not easily reach.
When all that is left is fear, I do not know how I will make it through the night. The terrors that fill the world outside our house are paralyzing the mind. Greet me in the morning and we will walk again through all of those woods. We will find a path to walk, which we barely remembered from dreams. We will find our lamp in the dark, our heaven's light. Of all things a token fallen from above, a future that called to us. My burning heart was never put out, always searching for what brings life to hearts, but silence floods the world. Stand with me in your gentle night, passion blowing with the breeze. Windows open as we step outside together, and you take my hand. Be part of my nation, part of my story, a future to love and hold. The birds guide us on, a was never put out, always searching for what brings life put out. My burning heart was never put out, always searching for what brings life to hearts. But silence floods the world. Stand with me in your gentle night, passion blowing with the breeze, windows open as we step outside together. And you take my hand, be part of my nation, part of my story, a future to love and hold. The future was the world, my story, a future to my hand. Be part of my nation, part of my story, a future to love and hold. The birds guide us on a path to where we will experience the world of the past, learn about the history of this world. The scabbard of my peace in the world covers the weapon of truth. The way out is marked by many tears, history of long suffering in the night.
Forgotten letters, not all of them burned. Ashes of the letters are dispersed and spread, so that no one will read them. My fallen life descends deeper into places of lament, under the boot of governments. The passion of my night, embarking forever on a long voyage through my future. Hold my heart close as we travel, as we see distant lands disappear so far away. I am the warrior who holds a sword and breathes freely in the world of colors. The light of the lamppost guide our path on all our journeys through these seas. As we flow forward through the waves, the birds will guide us as we float away. Somewhere we never stand united, never strive for freedom. South Africa is not our land. We've always looked out toward the ocean, imagining where it might take us. Find me always longing and looking out toward the sea. The future in the colors of the dawn is covered by all the birds, flying faster and farther than we can reach, held stable by the arms that love us, centered in our place by the poems written on the walls of the library. Myself in this room where the cinematic scene is outside our walls, playing on the window of past events and dreams. The room moved like a roller coaster, taking us for the ride as we see 1,000 stories unfold. None of them are lies. They greet us in their welcome, they take us far away. Come with me in the morning, take all my fears away, so that I can finally stand and hold myself firm on this ground. My life will be but a memory, my heaven covered in its shroud. If you will someday find me in the visions of tomorrow, my life was always spent running, always burning to escape. My heaven calls to you. The morning falls after us, if you can hold me closer. If your closeness heals my heart, know that time does not heal all wounds. Lord knows it won't heal mine. If all time takes us far away, I will fall away from what I crave. The light of the world, stepping down into darkness, makes all the world burst in its day. Follow me with your warm heart, where my nightmares will melt away. Away. My future is dark without you.
you. It is covered in its night. Fallen worlds collide and become whole in their places of truth. Life in spring and futures to burn up in the heaven that calls us. My power flows forever in the simple places where words are unleashed. The poems through the world can be constrained by no force but truth. But truth. May God save us from our misery. May our despair be hindered in its path. If all worlds are against me tonight, then all worlds will soon feel my wrath. My life was only spun one who always knew the how to walk the path towards that city which we would from now on call our home. Away from the dark dominion, away from unpleasant scepter and throne. A creation of life, irreplaceable in this world. Call me by your power and lead me in the light. Come as we watch the sunrise and look out and watch the sea. The boiling hearts forever will evaporate in these seas. Fly with me as we run after the birds. Hold a candle to my night. Be my guardian of the sea as worlds burn in the light. Nothing can contain the ocean or stop it from swallowing us where we stand. The light of the world surrounds us, prepares me in hearts of our voice to speak to the seas, to whatever force will hear me, as long as it has power to sing. Thrive with me forever, guide me in your arms as we stand on the bow of the ship, the wind guiding us on our way. Carve the path towards creation. We will stand together even tonight. Light of the world steps down into darkness. We are forever crawling toward the future tonight, craving whatever we can grasp, holding whatever we find. There will be no paths forward in a world led by the blind, falling apart from the top down. My power now is unashamed. Hold me in the anthem of the sunrise, of the stars dissipating into the waves. The creation from nothing into what is perfect. Hold me forever tonight. Call me back to your melody, where I can bask in the sound. The life of our story, buried in sand, submerged in its ocean one day. Call me to life from the place I am lost, and never let me return to that place. My memories all fade to ashes with the wind, like the fires where all the poems were burned. Pictures of harmony gone with the time, decayed in the winds of our panic. Follow me closely, my dear love, hold me and anchor me tonight. The map of the sea's gone with the wind, so we will only stand now as souls alone. Families come together and are united by the force of their love. Nothing will ever keep us apart. The time has tortured all of us, cities have burned in the night. But if you hold me close as the ship sails away, we will soon find our eternal home.